Hello, and welcome to our first character spotlights for Crusade for Myth Drannor here on Green and Gold Gaming. I am Renegade Paladin, the narrator.
I'm Bosheck, the DM.
Alright, and our first character spotlight is Jynx, the party rogue.
Excited to look at Jynx first. This little ball of mischief is the party's rogue, traditional class. The character is using the Unchained Rogue as per the recommendation in the player's guide.
And they are the classic halfling rogue, essentially. So, we'll, attributes, dump strength, but Unchained Rogue gets dex to damage at level 3. Unfortunately, we start at level 2.
Yep, it is a long walk for any of you that have lived that experience, as we know. But Jynx has a pretty standard rogue spread from what I would say. Higher charisma than wisdom, which is something you're going to see in a rogue who wants to be a face. The player character didn't really want to have too much to do with the production of things over here, so we're just going over this character on behalf of them.
Alright, so, so 8 strength, 18 dex, 14 con, 16 charisma, and 10s in the other two.
Right.
So
you can see that Jynx is very much a charmer, very much a squirmer, but has a couple of weaknesses. We pop over to the features tab, you can see, although if you're watching this, you're probably familiar with some of the content. Although, who knows, maybe you're newer, just enjoy this.
Well, as per the house rules, weapon finesse grants agile maneuvers. That's why there's 3 feats here.
Correct. The rogue gets weapon finesse at first level. We give them agile maneuvers so they can maybe do some interesting combat maneuvers with their dexterity instead of having to expend feats on it. And having more options is always a lot more fun for players.
And went for combat reflexes, which is an interesting choice, but it was an interesting choice without a reach weapon, but it's also a perfectly legitimate one.
Sure. Remember, combat reflexes gives you the ability to make attacks of opportunity. Even when you're flat-footed, you can catch people out who would normally expect you not to be able to react to them moving past you or casting a spell or something.
And Heroic Town is Ledge Walker, which I don't remember ever came up. But that's okay.
There is a fair share of difficult terrain in the campaign. Various adventures we use, as they're pre-printed, are going to have interesting battlefields. This is probably a good choice if you as a player remember it.
Yeah. And other than that, for traits, Adventurous Imbiber for +1 saving throws against poison, and Treasure Hunter is her campaign trait, as I supposed in the... Actually, we don't know the order these are going to go up, because that was a special.
That's correct. Adventurous Imbiber has the Caden Kalian moniker there. But realistically, flavor's mutable. Caden doesn't exist in the realms. It's just a trait that gives you a +1 trait bonus on saving throws against poison. It's a very reasonable mechanical choice, and Jynx's player wanted them to have a little bit more of that halfling luck. If you scroll down just a touch, you'll see some of the custom rewards that were granted from Jynx's first adventure, the Castle of Corellon, and as well as the second adventure the party ventured on, the Darkwood Webs.
Yeah, so first, missing an eye. The skeleton ate her eye. Right out.
Yep. Lyricana crushed that eye and then deanimated. Expanding that, Jynx gets a penalty on ranged attack rolls out of past range increments. Doesn't come up too often for the halfling, but it's there. And Jynx also chose the Red Rose's Blessing of Corellon Larethian,
which is a bonus on strength checks.
Specific strength checks, but yes.
Yeah. And this is going to be spoilers for, well, actually, I'll put this up after Darkwood Webs. So, favors of the Sprites of Cormanthor. Because we're rescuing the Dryad Calton Syndra from the Vile Servants of Lolth. And basically, that means the good Fae owe us a favor. An unspecified favor at a future point.
Correct. And even if this goes up even further down there, you'll see an expended Blessing of the Hexad on the halfling sheet. Now, advantage, as it is stated, doesn't really exist in Pathfinder, but it's also not too far off from the way hero points work. So, for some of these adventures, where it's indicated that something like a blessing or advantage is to be given as a reward, I haven't seen a problem with granting these to the player characters. I think they certainly appreciate the ability to have a reroll in the back of their pockets for when things get real dicey.
Which they sometimes do. And, in fact, did, because as you can see, Jynx is expended.
That's correct.
And skills are pretty standard rogue skills. Acrobatics, disable device, disguise, escape artist, stealth perception. You know, the usual spread.
Yes, very expected. Nothing out of the ordinary here for Jynx. But we thought some people might be curious as to what the halfling's build looked like. Because I know Pathfinder First Edition certainly attracts a lot of individuals who are interested in the crunchy side of things.
And for background skills, I see they spread them out. One in appraise, knowledge, geography, linguistics, and sleight of hand. So...
Correct.
But never took didn't take a language for that point of linguistics, apparently.
I'm confident that this imported incorrectly, and Jynx ended up taking Elven, because the party all spoke Elven except for Jynx, and because we use the polyglot module, the actual language in chat was enforced, and the character often had no idea what the tall folk were talking about.
Sorry.
No, it's actually an interesting little niche kind of interaction of using that module plus playing on the VTT. That's something you'd never have at a real table, although it simulates what might actually be happening in the game. The character player was never intentionally left out, and they never really felt salty about that. So it was a fun little bit of interaction while it lasted.
Yeah, and nothing unusual in equipment either. Dagger. The double sling is basically the only non-standard choice here.
I think that's supposed to be a halfling war sling?
Probably. Two weapon using double sling as a normal sling. Use a second to make one additional range attack each round. I don't know how that would actually work in practice if you were to actually make the damn thing and try to use it, but it's D&D. There's a lot of things that don't make a lot of sense.
Live your fantasy.
Yep.
Well, unless you want to go over the minutia of every little thing that Jynx picks up, which Jynx had sticky fingers, as you can see by the huge amount of mundane inventory items and the medium load on the rogue there.
Yeah, picked up literally everything, and you know, that doesn't always work out for you. But that's about all there is to Jynx. All there is to Jynx's character build, I believe.
Yep.
So it's a short one.
Yep, we'll dive a little deeper on the other characters. We can look at options that people choose as they level up as well. We'll do shorter videos if that's something people are interested in looking at.
All right. Well, in that case, this has been a special for Crusade for Myth Drannor here on. I almost said Paladin Gaming. Green and Gold Gaming. I am Renegade Paladin, and this is Bosheck signing off.
Bye-bye.